Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and welcome to Sogou's fourth quarter and full year 2019 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After management's prepared remarks, there will be a Q&A session. Today's conference call is being recorded, and if you have any objections, you may disconnect at this time. I would now like to turn the call over to your host today, Jessie Zheng, Investor Relations Director of Sogou. Please go ahead.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining Sogou's fourth quarter and full year 2019 earnings conference call. On the call, our CEO, Xiaochuan Wang, and our CFO, Zhou will give an overview of the operations and the financial results. In line with our practice on the previous earnings conference calls, Xiaochuan's prepared remarks will be made in Xiaochuan's voice using personalized speech synthesis and style transfer learning technology, which was developed by the Sogou Voice Interaction Technology Center. Xiaochuan will join the Q&A portion of the call in person. Before management begins their prepared remarks, I would like to remind you of the company's safe harbor statement in connection with today's conference call. Except for the historical information contained here, the matters discussed in this conference call are forward-looking statements. These statements are based on current plans, estimates, and projections, and therefore you should not place undue reliance on them. Forward-looking statements and Exchange Commission. With that, I would now turn the call over to our CEO, Xiaochuan Wang.
Thank you, Jessie, and hello, everyone. We maintained steady progress in 2019. Despite headwinds in the macro environment and online advertising industry in China, our total revenues increased 9% year-over-year to over 8 billion RMB, and net income surpassed 730 million RMB for the year. This was primarily driven by our dedication to continuously drive organic traffic growth and unlock the monetization potential of our core user assets, while at the same time further improving operational efficiencies. By the end of 2019, Sogou Search remained China's second largest search engine, and our search revenue continued to grow faster than the industry average. Sogou Mobile Keyboard increased its user base to 464 million DAUs, reinforcing its position as the third largest Chinese mobile app in terms of DAUs, according to iResearch. With respect to a recommendation service that leverages mobile keyboard, its revenue continued to experience robust growth. In addition, our smart hardware business maintained healthy momentum thanks to ongoing upgrades to our AI offerings. Now, let me walk you through each of our core businesses, including search, mobile keyboard, and smart hardware. In search, on top of ongoing efforts to improve the quality of search services, we also strengthened our content and service ecosystem during 2019. On the content front, we made solid progress in building a more professional search platform. For example, healthcare-related content on Sogou Search continued to be perceived as more reliable. Our intelligent Q&A provided users wider access to high-quality content, including that on WeChat official accounts, and Sogou How also further optimized its content ecosystem. On the services front, we enhanced our offerings, starting with healthcare, to explore opportunities in smart triage. Throughout the year, we significantly improved user experience in healthcare search, and both average click-through volume and click-through rate per person recorded solid increases. Our top direct answer results fulfilled a significant portion of our overall search results with a high level of accuracy. These initiatives have effectively boosted our organic traffic growth. Turning to mobile keyboard, over the past year, we launched a comprehensive set of upgrades, refining user perception of AI input with our smarter AI-enabled solutions that allow more efficient and accurate input. In particular, we released a number of product innovations which differentiate us from other players and expand our user base. For example, Smart Wang, an AI-enabled communication assistant within mobile keyboard that was launched in the third quarter of 2019, recommends to users a large variety of emoticons, punchlines, replies, and comments to use in chat and online shopping. The recommended content has been used hundreds of millions of times per day on average, and the daily usage number keeps climbing. Another good example is our AI-enabled voice functions, such as voice conversion and personalized voice recognition, which effectively strengthened our user stickiness. By the end of December 2019, SOGO mobile keyboard processed 54% more daily voice requests on average year-over-year, with up to 800 million requests per day, retaining our position as the largest voice recognition app in China. On top of product upgrades, we have also strengthened our recommendation service that leverages mobile keyboard to further unlock its commercial value. In 2019, revenue generated from our recommendation service increased nearly 90%. Going forward, we intend to tap into additional use cases for recommendation, better fulfilling users' various needs for information discovery while they are typing. On smart hardware, we leveraged our AI technologies to further drive business upgrades. In 2019, we successfully launched a new compelling product category, AI Smart Recorder C1 and C1 Pro, which led an AI-driven upgrading all across the recording industry. The two products also topped the best-selling lists on several mainstream e-commerce platforms. At the same time, we proactively established an AI innovation alliance with leading recorder players in China, under which we have been able to capture an increasing number of users through opening up our SOGO transcription service. This also allows us to drive the AI evolution of traditional recorders and to explore a service-based business model in the future. Going forward, we will step up R&D efforts to diversify our product matrix and strengthen the pipeline. Moving on to AI, in 2019, we made great advances across our core language-centric AI technologies, including voice, computer vision, machine translation, and Q&A. In addition to empowering our mobile keyboard and smart hardware businesses, we also integrated the technologies into the industry-leading solutions, including vocational avatars and AI-powered simultaneous interpretation. In particular, we further advanced SOGO vocational avatars with real-time human interaction features. Moreover, we expanded the application of this into multiple sectors, including AI news anchor for news broadcasting, AI virtual judge for legal services, AI host for literature and entertainment events, and AI customer service avatar for financial services. Our proprietary vocational avatar Yanni has successfully hosted multiple conferences recently and gained broad recognition among the industry. In terms of SOGO simultaneous interpretation solution, we made substantial progress in utilizing our proprietary context engine, computer vision, as well as AI self-learning capabilities in the latest upgrade. This means our solution is able to not only listen, but also to see and think in real time during the interpretation process. This is the first of its kind in the market. As a result, the accuracy of interpretation results has increased 40%. In 2019, SOGO simultaneous interpretation solution supported nearly 50 conferences in the areas of technology, finance, sports, and more. Next, I'd like to talk about the impact of the recent COVID-19 outbreak. Before I begin, I want to say that our thoughts go out to those who have been impacted by the situation, our users, employees, business partners, and the general public. When the outbreak started, we donated 13 million RMB worth of cash and materials to aid the frontline medical staff in regions that have been severely impacted. We also pledged 50 million RMB to set up a special purpose fund which will be used to help primary level public health institutions tackle the critical issues faced with an emphasis on AI applications. The internet technologies have played an important role in resolving various difficulties during the outbreak. This has also created emerging opportunities for SOGO, which we can leverage to accumulate and cultivate additional users. During the outbreak, benefiting from users' surging requests for finding reliable information and high efficiency, SOGO search traffic reached a record high level. Of that, healthcare search traffic increased as much as 100% year-over-year, and online consultation volume rose a very substantial 400% year-over-year. SOGO mobile keyboard DAUs also booked a record high of 480 million, with organic users growing significantly. The increases also resulted from our efforts as a major industry player to quickly mobilize our R&D and technological advantages to address the situation. We are pleased that this has enabled us to make constructive contributions at this challenging time, as well as to boost our development in search, feed, and AI healthcare. Let me give a few examples of our initiatives in relation to the outbreak. SOGO Search launched a series of functions which allow users to have quick, convenient, and effective access to epidemic information. Functions like diagnosed patients' travel history search were the first among our users and the industry. Meanwhile, we also facilitated the development of AI healthcare to serve our users during the outbreak. By partnering with authorities including China's National Health Commission, we launched an AI-enabled symptom checker robot, as well as an intelligent Q&A robot to alleviate the threat faced by primary level health institutions, particularly in handling massive and repetitive queries about the epidemic. Looking forward, the epidemic so far has caused significant interruption to businesses and economic activities across many industries in China, including online advertising industry. SOGO is not immune to the impact, and there will be a one-off short-term dampening impact on our results in the first quarter of 2020. Nevertheless, from a long-term perspective, the epidemic has increased users' reliance on the internet, fostered more online behaviors, and generated new demands from both users and businesses, which we believe will drive the ongoing development of the internet industry. Looking at 2020, to increase their revenue contribution. While it is difficult to predict how the year will unfold, with this set of strategies implemented and once things return to normal post the epidemic, we currently expect our business to accelerate in the second half of 2020. We will, however, keep the investment community well informed on this moving forward. With that, I will now turn the call to Joe to go through our financials.
Thank you, Xiaochuan. Hello, everyone. In the first quarter of 2019, we recorded total revenues of $301 million, as search remained resilient despite the pressure from external challenges, and recommendation service and smart hardware continued to deliver solid growth. Moreover, we again witnessed across-the-board market expansion, and our non-GAAP net income increased 44% year-over-year to $39 million. The solid profitability primarily resulted from our stringent control in traffic acquisition costs and expenses, as well as improved operating efficiency. Please note that unless otherwise noted, all monetary amounts that I discuss are in US dollars. Also note that I will refer to some non-GAAP numbers, which exclude share-based compensation expenses. You can find a reconciliation of non-GAAP to GAAP measures in our earnings release. Total revenues in the first quarter were $301 million. On a constant currency basis, total revenues in the first quarter would have been $306 million, a 3% increase year-over-year. Search and search-related revenues were $275 million. On a constant currency basis, search and search-related revenues would have booked a 1% increase year-over-year. The increase was primarily due to growth in auction-based pay-per-click services. Auction-based pay-per-click services accounted for 88% of search and search-related revenues, compared to 85% in the corresponding period in 2018. Other revenues were $26 million, a 26% increase year-over-year. The increase was primarily due to increased revenues from sales of smart hardware products. Cost of revenues was $169 million, a 9% decrease year-over-year. Traffic acquisition costs, a primary driver of cost of revenues, was $129 million, a 14% decrease year-over-year, representing 43% of total revenues, compared to 50% in the corresponding period in 2018. As we continue to benefit from increasing contribution from organic traffic and industry competition for external traffic has proved moderated, we expect tech growth to be well contained in 2020. Gross profit was $132 million, an 18% increase year-over-year. Non-GAAP gross profit was $133 million, a 19% increase year-over-year. Both GAAP and non-GAAP gross margin increased to 44% compared to 38% a year ago. The increase primarily resulted from our efforts to control traffic acquisition costs. Total operating expenses were $95 million, a 4% decrease year-over-year. Research and development expenses were $49 million, a 100% increase year-over-year, representing 16% of total revenues, largely flat compared to the corresponding period in 2018. Sales and marketing expenses were $35 million, a 16% decrease year-over-year, representing 12% of total revenues, compared to 14% in the corresponding period in 2018. The decrease was primarily attributable to a decrease in marketing and promotional spending. G&A expenses were $11 million, a 21% increase year-over-year, representing 4% of total revenues, compared to 3% in the corresponding period in 2018. The increase was primarily due to an increase in professional fees. Operating income was $37 million, a 202% increase year-over-year, compared to $12 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Non-GAAP operating income was $41 million, a a 216% increase year-over-year compared to $30 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Other income net was $500,000 compared to $9.6 million in the corresponding period in 2018. The increase was primarily due to a $9.1 million impairment loss on the company's equity investments in 2019. Income tax expense was $2 million compared to income tax benefit of $4 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Net income attributable to Sogou was $35 million, a 33% increase year-over-year, compared to net income of $26 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Non-GAAP net income attributable to Sogou was $39 million, a 44% increase year-over-year, compared to net income of $27 million in the corresponding period in 2018. Basic and diluted earnings per ADS were 9 cents. Non-GAAP basic and diluted earnings per ADS were 10 cents. As of December 31st, 2019, they had cash and cash equivalents and short-term investments of $1.1 billion, compared to $1 billion as of December 31st, 2018. Net operating cash inflow for the first quarter was $52 million. Capital expenditures for the first quarter were $9 million. Now I'll briefly walk through the highlights of our full year results. Total revenues were $1.2 billion, a 4% increase from 2018, or a 9% increase on a constant currency basis. Search and search-related revenue for 88% of search and search-related revenues, compared to 84% in 2018. Other revenues were $99 million, compared to $101 million in 2018. Net income was $89 million, compared to $99 million in 2018. Non-GAAP net income was $105 million, compared to $130 million in 2018. Basic and diluted earnings per ADS were 23 cents. Non-GAAP basic and diluted earnings per ADS were 27 cents. And finally, turning to our outlook. For the first quarter of 2020, we expect total revenues to be in the range of $240 million to $260 million, representing a 5% decrease to 3% increase year-over-year, or a 1% decrease to 7% increase year-over-year in RMB terms. This near-term guidance takes into account the impact of the coronavirus outbreak, as well as other We currently expect to get back on track post the epidemic and accelerate development in the second half of 2020. Please note that for the first quarter 2020 guidance, we have presumed an exchange rate of RMB 7 to the dollar, as compared with the actual exchange rate of approximately RMB 6.74 to the dollar for the first quarter of 2019, and RMB 7.03 to to the dollar for the first quarter of 2019. That concludes our prepared remarks.
Thank you, Joe. Operator, we
tone phone. If you are using a speakerphone, please pick up your handset before pressing the keys. To withdraw your question, please press star then 2. At this time, we will pause momentarily to assemble our roster. The first question today comes from Thomas Chong of Jefferies. Please go ahead.
晚上好，谢谢管理层接受我的提问，也祝大家身体健康。我的问题是关于我们不同行业广告的预算的一个 business trend。想问一下呢，就是在 Q1 的话呢，我们看到不同行业的广告的投放呢，大概是怎么样的？然后想问一下呢，就是在 Q2 或者是good health and safe. My question is about the advertising trend across different industries. Can management share about how different categories allocate their spending in Q1 and how we should think about the trend in Q2 and second half? And my second question is about our smart hardware initiative. Can management share the KPI for this year and about the timing that we expect to achieve profitability? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take the first question.
周瑜回答一下。
好的，好。So for Q1, during the outbreak, we are benefiting from users' surging quest for finding reliable information and high efficiency. So our search traffic reached a record high. But the outbreak has caused significant interruptions to China's economy and businesses, which has negative short-term impact on online advertising. So therefore, despite the strong increase in traffic, our search-related revenues will face more pressure.
我们预期的收入，一个是我们今年的第一个事儿，我们在年底之前，今年下半年会发布一款大众的 AI 的产品。同时，我们希望今年的这个硬件收入在我们总收入的占比是中到高位数的个位数的这个百分比的比例。同时的话呢，明年会进入到盈利的状态。
So in terms of the hardware question, SOGO will launch a mainstream hardware product within this year, targeting a larger population of consumers with faster development space. And we expect to achieve mid to high single-digit revenue contribution from our hardware business, and we expect to achieve profitability in 2021.
And let me add more colors on the second quarter and the second half. So basically, we expect the advertising revenue will largely recover from the Q1, I mean the coronavirus outbreak. So the growth rate will accelerate in Q2. And with we continue to unlock the value of our mobile keyboard and accelerate the AI smart hardware in the second half, the revenue will accelerate further. I mean quarter over quarter comparing to Q2.
Got it. Thank you.
The next question comes from Daniel Chen of JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
晚上好，管理层啊，首先祝大家身体健康啊。我这边第一个问题是关于广告这边，就想问一下管理层能不能跟我们讲一讲，就是过去2周吧，就是现在开始复工以来，我不知道这个广告市场或者我们有没有看到这种 我们这个广告业务的一个这样子的恢复情况，然后我们大概什么时候觉得会这个整个广告业务能够恢复到疫情之前的这么一个情况。第二个我是想问一下关于我们的这个输入法这边，我们2019年整个输入法变现做得非常好，就想问一下2020年我们在这边的战略是怎么样，能不能再详细说一下？谢谢。I will translate myself. Wish everybody in good health. My first question is regarding the advertising business. Could management give us some update on how the business recover in the last 2 weeks, and also some preliminary view on what do we expect when do we expect our advertising business to back to normal status? Second question is on the mobile keyboard. So we have done pretty well in terms of revenue growth for the keyboard in 2019. So what is our main strategy to further monetize and further grow our mobile keyboard in 2020? Thank you.
这是问题周一来回答行吗？
第一个我来回答。Okay. So over the past 2 weeks, we see the advertising revenue recovering, but with limited visibility, we will still take time to look at the revenue. But basically, it will recover quarter over quarter. So in Q2, it will largely recover, but of course not 100% to normal situation. But for the second half, we expect it will fully recover to a normal situation. So as I mentioned, with we unlock the value of our mobile keyboard and the smart hardware. So that's why in the second half, we expect revenue growth to accelerate.
对，我说第二个情况。那么刚刚提到搜狗输入法在19年的时候，我们这个不仅用户量在上升，而且加入了一个新的功能，这个 AI 助手这个汪仔。那么这个推出之后，已经它能够实现更多的这样一个推荐的服务。那么在2020年，我们基于这样的一些功能的 ready， 然后包括我们开始更多启用对用户的画像体系的使用，就是这个输入法和搜狗其他产品的这样一个精准的画像，那么就能够加速我们本身的这样一个推荐服务，尤其是这个 VP 的推荐和信息流的推荐。所以我们19年的这个推荐服务刚刚提到，我们收入同比增加 90%， 20年预期足够 ready， 我们现在有机会这个挖掘输入法用户资产的价值，比如说开始提供这种增值服务 to C 的这样一个功能上的收费，像自主商场、个性皮肤、表情等等的。所以在2020年可以看到，这推荐服务和输入法作为一个用户资产，它的这个收入上升。
Okay, in response to our mobile keyboard question, I think you have noticed that in 2019 we've further grown our user base, and we've launched a very innovative function called Smart Wang Zai, which basically transforms mobile keyboard to an intelligent communication assistant that we can leverage to do all kinds of recommendations. And in 2020, we'll step up our efforts to strengthen users' mindshare. And in terms of commercialization, we'll steadily drive forward recommendation service with more targeted recommendations of both information and services. And we'll also further unlock the commercial value of mobile keyboards user assets, such as the rollout of paid-to-see value-added services, including personalized graphic skins, emoticons, etc. Recommendation service has grown by nearly 19% year-over-year in 2019, and we expect it will maintain robust growth in 2020. As a percent of total revenues is going to be like mid to high single-digit contribution in 2020, and while we will continue to grow to a meaningful level going forward.
The next question comes from Natalie Wu of CICC. Please go ahead.
川总、周总、Jessie 晚上好，感谢接受我的提问。我这边呢主要2个问题。那第一个呢是看到咱们虽然也受到疫情的影响，但是广告收入其实在季度的这个展望比起其他家来说还是要好不少的。那不知道是不是因为咱们的行业广告组结构不同的一个原因，所以想了解一下咱们现在的一个广告组的行业构成，以及到年底为止可能会有的一个行业分布，想听听大家的一个想法。那第二个问题呢是关于看到咱们刚刚投了春雨医生，所以不知道咱们今年以及以后在互联网医疗这块会不会有一个什么样的一个想法。I will translate myself very briefly. So thank So can management update us your up-to-date advertising sector distribution, and what would you expect that distribution to evolve by the end of this year? And my second question is regarding the very recent investment into Chunyu Doctor. I noticed that you've just made an investment into the online medical treatment platform, Chunyu Doctor, Chunyu 医生. So just wondering what kind of the strategic collaboration should we anticipate in future? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take the first question. So for Q1 guidance, so if you look at the midline, your RMB term, basically it means 3% increase year over year. That's better than industry average. That's primarily because first, during the outbreak, we are benefiting from users searching quest for finding reliable information. So our search traffic reached a record high. And the second, our search advertising has relatively small scale, which means that we have more space to further. And the last, different sector mix, the higher contribution from online gaming, streaming, and online education sectors, which experienced significant growth as people have to stay at home during the epidemic. So if you look at Q4, the top verticals, they are, say, gaming, e-commerce, healthcare, and services, business services, and education. So if we look into Q1, basically the trend is that for gaming and education, online education, they will benefit from the epidemic.
对，我来说一下春雨医生和这个SOGO的 AI 医疗战略。那么首先一组医疗搜索，这个SOGO本身这个搜索引擎就是承接了这个用户大量的医疗相关的查询，我们接近10%的这个搜索请求都跟这个健康相关。那么往下我们会逐步加强这部分的这个 AI 能力和后面的服务能力，那么去连接更多的信息和这个医生资源，最后把它发展成这样一个独立的业务，是长久是打造数字的家庭医生。那么主要原因是基于刚才提到的，这个医疗本身是一个这个低频的需求，在 C 端最终的入口，很多时候还是依靠于搜索本身。所以作为一个这个搜索平台，我们是有医疗搜索大量的入口。我们这些年一直在打造更多权威的信息，也开始做 AI 的医疗的辅助，并且这样 AI 的技术长远讲有机会去弥补医疗资源的不足，这个是现在互联网医院普遍所不具有这样一个能力。所以的话，我们看19年我们的进展是取得了互联网医院的牌照，可以开展了互联网在线诊断的业务。然后之后呢，像疫情期间可以看到，我们的 AI 医疗 带来新的契机，这个真实集成超负荷的工具，我们的这样的一个 AI 的自测、问答机器人这种筛查这样一些工作有关，并且我们的工作也得到了国家的卫健委的这样一个认可。所以的话呢，往下我们在今年有专项的基金，是往基层更多投入，就能够往这种基层到这种社区，去获得更多的新的这个用户。因此呢，从今年的布局里面，我们的这个医疗可能够使得我们的这个从搜索理念的得到帮助，并且能够获得独立的这个用户资源，这也是投资春雨医生的原因。
Okay, in response to your AI healthcare question, I think in the last few years, we have been very dedicated to building a professional healthcare search platform. Therefore, we have strong presence in health search, and that as a foundation will gradually operate AI healthcare as an independent business unit. And our ultimate goal is to grow into a digital family doctor model. I think Sogou's AI healthcare is still targeting a consumer market. Given that healthcare is a low frequency request, it's very likely that the ultimate gateway will still be search. And by then, the AI healthcare platform will not only provide healthcare information, but also provide additional healthcare services like smart triage, etc. So our core competitive edge is actually search plus AI. Because we have a very well-recognized healthcare search platform and that's acting a traffic entrance for AI healthcare, and nearly 10% of our total traffic is coming from healthcare. It's a traffic gateway that users have been used to, and in the past few years, we've been trying to build this platform into a authoritative and reliable healthcare search platform, providing both content and services. Therefore, this has laid a solid foundation for us to develop AI healthcare. And second, Sogou has very strong AI capabilities. This will be our leading AI technology is able to help alleviate the shortage of medical resources and to create a barrier to industry peers in the competition. And in 2019, we've actually done a lot in developing AI healthcare. We've received an internet hospital license, and during the epidemic, we've seen new opportunities with the rollout of our online healthcare search, online healthcare consultation, symptom checker, and intelligent Q&A robots. Notably, healthcare search traffic has increased 100%. Our online healthcare consultation have significantly grown by 400%. In addition, we've launched 50 million RMB special purpose fund to drive AI application in healthcare. Lastly, we are also seeking M&As to accelerate AI healthcare development. Our latest investment in Chunyu Doctor is actually a first mover in the sector, is part of the efforts. We believe by partnering with Chunyu, it will facilitate our development in AI healthcare in the future.
The next question today comes from Alicia Yap of Citigroup. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, management. Thanks for taking my question. 管理层晚上好，谢谢接受我的提问。我有一个就是 follow up 就是关于我们的那个 guidance， 我们之前说到下半年其实那个会预期有一个加速的这个增长就是除了这个 硬件这边的这个新产品的 launch 呢，我们就是搜索这边我们是怎么预算的？就是说搜索这边也是有一个加速年对年的这个增长嘛。然后是的话呢，其实主要这个driver 是什么原因？然后另外呢，就是我们的现在那个 mobile keyboard 这边引入的这个 traffic 去搜索，现在占比多少哈？我翻译一下。So my questions is related to management comment regarding into the second half where you expect the revenue to accelerate. So besides the smart hardware new product launch, which is going to contribute a pretty big driver on that, for search revenue, do you also expect a re-acceleration? If so, what are the driver for the search revenue to re-accelerate? And then just another quick follow-up is that currently, what are the traffic redirection from the mobile keyboard to your search currently? Thank you.
Okay. So for search revenue, basically, if you look at Q1, Q2, and the second half, the trend will be that for Q1, basically it will be flattish or 1 to 2% increase year over year in RMB terms. And in second quarter, with the epidemic comes to its end, the advertising revenue will largely recover. So the growth rate will accelerate. And in the second half, it will further accelerate, say maybe to around %. So if you look at Q4 for search-related revenue, the year-over-year growth rate it's about something around 1% in RMB terms year over year. So that's basically the trend for search part. For revenue from mobile keyboard, we leverage our mobile keyboard to build up our recommendations. We'll continue to focus on unlock the value of our mobile keyboard. So we expect that contribution will continue to expand.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Elsie Chang of Goldman Sachs.
Hey, hello. 谢谢管理层，也恭喜公司4季度强劲的业绩表现。那这边呢，我其实想问3个问题。那第一个呢，就是接着刚刚复工的问题。我想再请教一下管理层，那如果我们从最近这几周客户广告投放情况来看，特别是3月份的这几天，这个整体需求的恢复程度大概到了一个正常水平的什么程度，以及这个恢复的速度，不知道是否能够跟我们分享一下。那第二个问题呢，还是想请教一下小川总关于我们这个搜索、输入法、智能硬件3大这个核心业务这个发展的策略。因为2月份我们也发布了2款新的产品嘛。然后能否请教一下小川总，可能从一个更长远的角度来看，不仅仅只是2020年，我们这个硬件和互联网业务会如何协同发展来体现我们在 C 端的优势。然后第3个问题呢是还是想请教一下管理层，怎么看待小程序的发展？因为好像小程序对于搜狗的业务来说，其实是更多的是跟输入法的结合。那么长期来看，我们其实在这方面的这个发展的策略大概是什么样的？我自己快的翻译一下吧。Thank you, management. I have 3 questions. The first one is to follow up on the recovery question earlier. Just want to understand a little bit more about what kind of recovery ratio we're looking at right now, and if possible, any color on the speed of recovery. And second question is about our strategy on search input method and smart hardware. If we go beyond 2020, how should we think about the synergies in developing the hardware and internet business together? And the third question is want to ask about the mini programs and the thinking about mini program strategies at Sogou, because as we understand, it's more integrated with the input method in terms of product features for now, and how do we think about developing this to drive business in future? Thank you.
Okay, so for the first question regarding how the advertising revenue will recover. So with a relatively small scale, maybe we are not a very good indicator for the whole industry. And as the epidemic is still evolving and poses a lot of uncertainties, so there's limited ability regarding how it will fully recover. But if you look at Sogou, as I mentioned, we expect Q2 we will largely recover from the epidemic, and for second half we will fully recover from the epidemic. Okay, Xiaochuan will take the second and the third question.
对，第二的话呢，关于这三个线条的协同，因为搜狗这个我们比较强势的是我们的输入法，这输入法是帮助用户表达和输入，这是它的 output 啊，跟互联网在上面输出信息的这样一个产品。而搜索的话呢，更多是它用来获取信息、获取知识的一个产品。所以之前输入法跟搜索连接就可以看到，用户想获取之前是有些需要表达输出，然后这个时候呢，我们可以借着机会就给它做信息的获取。而我们做智能硬件就是能够更多把这样一种表达和获取信息统一在这个一个这个产品形态当中。我们发布的第一款这个 AI 的硬件录音笔，其实你可认为它是一个硬件版的语音的输入法，也是帮助用户能够去表达做这样一个记录。那在往下我们的硬件的发布，就不仅能帮助用户他去好的 output， 也能帮助他更好的input 去这个 get information， 对吧？甚至从 get information 由于我们有后面强的 AI 的能力，这个不仅是在交互层面上是通过语音到图像里面是有这样的一个咱们做到的，现在已经有技术语音识别、语音的合成，包括视觉形象的这种合成，这是我们的应用展示出来的。那在这个基于知识的计算之后，是基于对话，然后这样的一种模式，可以提问的模式去给它输出它的答案，包括后面的一些 AI 的服务，像医疗服务，然后其他垂直的这样一些这种从医疗也好、法律也好这种服务可以去这个获取。所以可以认为说，这三件事情是通过硬件的做法，能够更好的把我们这样表达获取和后面服务能够把它结合起来。对，这是这三个产品之间的一个内在的联系。
So in terms of your question about on the synergies between search, mobile keyboard, and hardware, basically we have a very strong core asset. Mobile keyboard is actually helping users to input and express themselves, and search is about to help users to get information. But before you get information, you have to input something. And hardware is a very good carrier of connecting with input and output. It integrates the basic functions of search and mobile keyboard. And in 2019, we launched a new category of hardware called smart recorder. It's basically a hardware version of the voice input method. And in the future, we're going to integrate increasingly more AI capabilities, not only on the interactive features like voice, image, or computer vision, but also integrating more knowledge computing capabilities that provide users with direct answers, best solutions, or services. So this is something that only hardware can do, and we believe we have very strong synergies between all the core assets, among all the core assets at Sogou.
关于小程序，我们觉得小程序是搜狗这个包括我们的搜索和输入法去连接这个其他网站的服务，挺好的一个载体。那么 这样的话呢是这个应该贯穿SOGO的各种这样的信息场景，那么去形成一个消费的闭环。所以
we think mini programs are a very good medium that we can leverage. Actually, we have been integrating mini programs in both search and mobile keyboard. Mini programs have been across all the information use cases across SOGO's products, and that allows us to provide users with both content and services and develop a closed loop of ecosystem for them. But what we have observed is that mini programs are not material to driving search traffic, and existing mini programs, how they can benefit, content providers or advertisers, it's yet to be, it's yet to be seen. I think the most successful mini program are still within the Weixin ecosystem. But having said that, we are really trying to tap into the potential of the mini programs, and we'll definitely do something about it later.
This concludes our question and answer session. I would like to turn the conference back over to the company for any closing remarks.
Thank you everyone for joining today's call and for your continued support for SOGO. We look forward to speaking to you again in the future.
The conference is now concluded. Thank you for attending today's presentation. You may now disconnect.